I read philosophy, and now I know everything there is to know about everything there is to know. I've always been a fan of reading, ever since the days of going to the library in middle school and reading the Magic Treehouse books, which those are literary masterpieces, by the way. That series by itself puts the Bible to shame, and there is no argument to be had on that statement. But I'm only giving you my anime backstory to set up where I'll come in and flex on you real hard by metaphorically flopping my cock on the table real hard and saying the magical world of reading has led me to the gift of philosophy, and that by default has opened my third eye and gave me the ability to ejaculate without even touching it. You know, I can just tell my PP to shoot, and it says, how far? And now that I've got my immature jokes out of the way, now's where we'll segue into talking about the actual philosophy book that I read and not make any more 6th grader jokes. You know, 7th and 8th grade jokes, those are fair game still. The book I read is called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I still don't know how to pronounce that. I believe that's how you say it. Let me do Google Translate real quick.
Aurelius.
Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. So yeah, the book I read is called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and that being my first philosophy book, it feels like I'm a bit of a white girl going into Starbucks when it turns October and ordering a pumpkin spice latte. I feel very much like a normie right now. So as you can see right here, Marcus Aurelius was a stone man who just so happened to be the Emperor of Rome. He was born in 121 AD, April 26th, and then he was Emperor of Rome from 161 to 180. And on top of being a Roman emperor, he's one of the most widely known Stoic philosophers of all time. What originally drew me in and made me want to read Meditations was that it was never intended to be published as a book. It was never meant to be, I guess, like read as a piece of literature. It was just a bunch of private notes that he was writing to himself because he was a Stoic philosopher and he was just writing down his Stoic ideas. And to me, that adds a whole nother aspect to the reading of this book. It adds a way more enjoyability and authenticity to the book, knowing that he didn't spice it up, try to make it look nice and cool like a teenage girl's diary to release to the public and get New York Times bestseller on the front of the book. He just wrote it down as notes to himself, and he didn't even do it to make himself look cool as the Emperor of Rome. Mr. Aurelius is just a really cool guy, what can I say? Also, I enjoy getting my mind bent over and taken advantage of as much as the next guy, and that's really why Stoic philosophy has always drew me in and intrigued me. You know, it's like a man in a white van offering candy to little children. It's intriguing. You want to go look into it. You want to see if it's really worth it. And the upside was so good that I had to take my chances, and I don't regret my decision. Unlike, you know, getting in a white van full of candy, I regretted that decision in my earlier life. But this one, I can stand firm and say I don't regret it. But basically what Stoic philosophy is that it's a philosophy of personal ethics informed by its system of logic and its views of the natural world, which basically just means it maximizes positive emotions while reducing negative emotions and just overall helping a person be a better person to build character and just, you know, be better. And now to get more into the book Meditations, some of my favorite ideas from this book were, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is easily one of my favorite quotes from the entire book because it's so simple, yet I'd never thought of it that way before. And if any of you are like me, when something doesn't go your way, you get a bit upset about it and you slip out a few curses towards a certain minority group and then beat yourself up over something that you couldn't have changed, even if you wanted to. Just actually understanding that you and only you have the ability to control your thoughts, actions, and emotions truly does make a world's difference. It doesn't seem like it does on the surface value, but once you actually practice it, it does make a massive change for the better. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That's another great quote that's still in the same realm of having power over your own mind. Those are two of my favorite quotes from the entire book right there. Now, this quote that I'm about to read has truly stood the test of time, and I believe it's more relatable now than ever before. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not a truth. I don't even need to explain this one. If Twitter took a look at this and took it to heart, we really would live in a perfect dystopian future. And to build upon that, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. I just really want to make sure Twitter gets this message. I really want to just hit it home with Twitter. I just want to shove it down their throat so hard that they have to take this message in. This quote right here is probably the one I found the most motivational. You don't love yourself enough, or you'd love your nature too. And what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash or eat. Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, the dancer for dance, the miser for money, or the social climber for status? When they're really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than giving up practicing their arts. This is a message that motivational speakers eat up. They take this and they put it in every one of their speeches. If you've looked up motivational speeches on YouTube or any platform before, that right there has definitely been in the message. If you want the dream, you gotta live the dream. You gotta eat the dream. You gotta sleep the dream. I only sleep 1 hour a day, and then I get up and I work on my dream. In a nutshell, what this quote means is that he's saying people that are so driven to reach their goals forget to wash themselves, aka shower, or eat, and then they also forget to sleep and stop eating. I believe he was exaggerating a bit to get his message across even more, but you know, there probably are some people out there that are so possessed by what they do that they do forget to do basic human functions. And I'm not a believer in the saying, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. It is work. Everyone's got to work. It's still work at the end of the day. But you like the work enough to stick with it even through the hard times until you get to the good times that you're wanting to get to. Till you get to your end goal, and then you keep pushing on from there. This is a bit off topic because it's from another book, but it's still one of my favorite quotes ever, probably my favorite quote ever. It's from the book The Old Man and the Sea that I read a while back. It is better to be lucky, but I would rather be exact. Then when luck comes, you are ready. That's a very straightforward one, and when I read that, that hit home for me so hard because it's exactly how I'm feeling at this present moment in time, because it's like I've been doing YouTube for a couple years, you know, building up my content, getting better, you know, stepping up each video, and I feel like I'm at the point right now to where my content is good enough to where when the luck comes, that being the views and the algorithm coming in my favor and getting my videos out there, pushing them out, getting more views, my exactness would be the quality of my content. And now the quality of my content is up to the standards that I want it to be. So now when the algorithm and the luck comes in, I'm ready for that, and I can just take off with it and skyrocket off, shoot up to the moon with Elon Musk. That really is one of the first quotes from a book that I read, and it truly did make me feel some type of way. Usually when reading books, it was just kind of like a, you know, it's a fun journey, but that quote right there really did, like, it really set in with me, and I can basically remember that quote off the top of my head, and I find myself repeating it to myself a lot when I'm feeling down for not getting as much views as I want, or not as much subscribers and watch time or whatever. It's just something that really is really motivational to me. And now going back to meditations, this quote right here is for anybody that may be having a rough time and they're down on themselves. And this will be a good thing to repeat to yourself, like a mantra type deal. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. This is once again another thing that's very cliche nowadays as a motivational quote. You know, you shouldn't fear death. You should fear not living your life to the fullest. And that way you can live peacefully or die peacefully, knowing that you lived your life how you wanted to until the end. And you know, you have no regrets and whatever, etc., etc. Stoic philosophy is great at getting you to question everything you're doing and want to be a better person at the same time. It makes you think as well as want to change at the same time, which is why I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore it. I plan to go more into like Friedrich Nietzsche, I don't know how to say his last name, more into different types of philosophy and probably make videos about those eventually, but I'll end the video off with this quote right here. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. And that's really what I believe Marcus Aurelius believed in. Like his philosophies, his stoic ideas were just the end goal for them were to be a better person, just to be a better man. And that's why I wanted to end the video off with that. I feel it's very poetic. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.